Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. So, Volodymyr Zelenskyy has arrived in Washington, D.C. for the NATO summit that I've been discussing over the last day or so. And this summit is expected to last for the next couple days, I think until Thursday. And we should be hearing some very major developments coming out of the NATO summit regarding the Ukraine war. We should be hearing of a lot of countries start to stand up, many of these NATO nations providing support to Ukraine, giving them weaponry. One of the big ones should be multiple Patriot missile systems going to Ukraine here very soon. We're getting lots of reports that 4 or more could be heading to Ukraine in a very short period of time. So Volodymyr Zelenskyy has arrived, as I said. This is him right here, and he's at the Holodomor Memorial, which is also known as the Ukrainian famine, which was a man-made famine in Soviet Ukraine from 1932 to 1933 that killed millions of Ukrainians. So he's here paying his respects to all those people, all the lives that were lost during that time. So we're going to be giving you some more updates here regarding this this summit and kind of what Volodymyr Zelenskyy is expecting to get. You know, what is he expecting to get out of this summit while he's here? So we know that they should be getting more weaponry. We should be hearing a lot of the countries stepping up. We should also hear probably from NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg. He should probably announce as well that they will be maintaining 40 billion euros a year of support for Ukraine, at least for the next year, maybe longer. And this shows that this war is going to drag on for a while now, unless Ukraine starts to run out of troops, which we are starting to hear that. But in terms of support, for military support, giving them weaponry, things like that, it looks like the weapons are going to continue flowing, and they may increase now that this summit is going on. So this should be a major summit, lots of big developments coming out. So I want to show you a few things that we're going to go over here. We're also going to show you a couple videos too. We'll show you a video update from Volodymyr Zelenskyy, and then we'll talk about a few other things as well. So let me go ahead and get right into this and show you these two things here that we've got for you. So this is from Volodymyr Zelenskyy on X. When he arrived in Washington, he put out a quick update, a 2-minute update to all the Ukrainians to let them know what he's expecting to get out of this NATO summit, and just some quick updates. So it says here, now in Washington, today marks the beginning of the NATO summit. We are fighting for more air defense systems for Ukraine, and I'm confident we will succeed. We are also striving to secure more aircraft, including F-16s. Additionally, we are pushing for enhanced security guarantees for Ukraine, including weapons, financial aid, and political support. So they just got a big security guarantee from Poland just yesterday. I did a whole video on that. Poland is thinking about starting to shoot down some of these missiles that are coming into Ukraine's country that get close to the Polish border. They're thinking about helping out Ukraine by shooting these down inside of Ukrainian territory, not in Polish territory. Also, Poland was announcing that they are going to be sending over something like 20 MiG-29s as well, potentially as also, and just lots of other big security agreements, okay? So Ukraine is starting to get some of these already with multiple nations, but they'll probably get more while they're there. So we urge decisive actions from the U.S. and Europe, actions that will strengthen our warriors. We are committed to doing everything possible to ensure that Russian terror is defeated. This is not just not crucial for our country. It is essential for everyone, for every partner and all nations. So we've got a 2-minute clip here that we're going to take a look at, and then we'll talk about it after. So go ahead and listen up to what Volodymyr Zelenskyy has to say here.
Дорогі українці, зараз Вашингтон, сьогодні починається саміт НАТО. Б'ємося за більшу кількість ППО для України. Я впевнений, що буде. Б'ємося за більшу кількість літаків F-16. Ми боремось, щоб були. Б'ємось за додаткові гарантії безпеки для України, а це зброя і фінанси, політична підтримка. Б'ємося за необхідні рішучі дії Америки та Європи, те, що зміцнить наших воїнів. Ми робимо і завжди будемо робити все, щоб російський терор програв. Це треба не лише нашій державі, це всім потрібно. Буквально кожному партнеру, всім народам. Охмаддит ми відновимо. З Кабміном я на зв'язку. Є перше рішення 100 мільйонів гривень на підтримку Охмаддиту. Буде ще 300 мільйонів. Будуть інші рішення. і для Києва, і для міст Дніпровщини, і Донеччини. Всіх обов'язково ми підтримуємо. Всім дітям, всім сім'ям, всім, хто постраждав, допоможемо. Дякую і всім нашим людям, які підтримали Охмаддит, які збирають на United 24, які допомагають компаніям, волонтерам, всім, хто об'єднався зараз. Це наша єдність, українська, така потрібна. Я дякую лідерам, країнам, всім, хто вчора і сьогодні засудив російський терор. Ми цінуємо вашу підтримку, друзі. Ми на телефоні, ми працюємо з партнерами зараз, щоб ніхто не мовчав, щоб всі засуджували. І дуже хочеться, щоб всі діяли. Щоб були саме ті рішення, які повернуть безпеку. В тому числі рішення тут, у Вашингтоні, тут, на саміті НАТО. Слава Україні!
Okay, so we can see here clearly from this video that he's doing everything that he can to get the support to Ukraine that they can get. Obviously, they need more air defenses. I think they needed something like 12 Patriot missile systems to cover their country. Right now, last I heard, they had somewhere around 4 or 5, maybe, I think. So they're trying to get, at least another 5 or 6 or more. That there has been a lot of talk about getting those. He also talks here about F-16s. And we know that they obviously need more firepower in the air. They need to be able to take control of their skies. So, F-16s would definitely help them do that. And we know they are getting some. I just did a report not too long ago that the Netherlands approved the transfer to start sending F-16s to Ukraine very soon, probably within the next month or so. As far as I know, they haven't gotten any yet, but they should be getting them soon. And if you also notice, he talks in here as well about Okhmatdit. Okay, it says right here, Okhmatdit. That is the Kiev Children's Hospital that came under attack yesterday. So apparently they're going to be getting some funding to help rebuild that hospital that came under attack just yesterday by Russian missiles. I did a whole video on that. If you want to go check it out, you can go on, jump on over to my page, find that video from yesterday. It should be right there, one of the last videos I put out. And I also saw a report as well, which I thought was pretty cool, was McDonald's inside of Kiev was also doing a fundraiser for the Okhmatdit Children's Hospital. And they were saying that any sales they made for a certain period of time was going to go directly to this hospital as well. So it looks like a lot of people stepping up, a lot of big companies as well, like McDonald's stepping up and supporting this hospital that came under attack. So obviously, Ukraine is trying to get all the help they can right now. We know that their troops, they're very low on troops right now, but they're getting as much support as they can, at least at the bare minimum, be able to defend from these attacks. Patriot missile systems will be able to help them with that. But now I want to talk a little bit more about that when it comes to these attacks. And I've got a report here from United 24 Media. It says Zelenskyy, there is no point in using ATACMS without permission to hit Russian airfields. So these ATACMS are these ballistic missiles that were sent over to Ukraine, and some of the versions that they have a range of around 300 kilometers, which could easily target Russian airfields deep inside of their territory. And right now they're unable to. They're not able to strike, I think, anywhere further than like 100 kilometers inside of Russian territory. So that's a big problem for them, right? If they can't strike anywhere past 100 kilometers, these airfields are, some of them are like 200, 300 kilometers inside of Russia, and they want to be able to strike them with these ATACMS. So he's basically saying that these ATACMS ballistic missiles are pointless to use, considering that they have range, but they can't utilize that range because U.S. policy is currently stating that they can't strike beyond, much beyond the border. So I wanted you to see this clip real quick. It's 57 seconds of him talking about this and see what his response is to this.
Якщо не буде зміни, то немає сенсу використовувати ATACMS. Нема в цьому сенсу. В випадку з літаками Росії. Про це всі вже відкрито сказали. У них є бази, на яких стоять літаки, аеродроми військові, з яких вони піднімаються і стріляють по нас guided aerial bombs. Тисячі. Якщо ми не зробимо так, щоб ці літаки тут не стояли, якщо ми не змусимо Росію прибрати їх глибше в Російську Федерацію, а з цієї відстані вони вже не зможуть запускати ці бомби, вони зможуть бити тільки ракетами, а ракети це також зло, але їх набагато менше, ніж цих бомб. Тобто, якщо ми їх не змусимо, вони просто будуть з нас знущатись і зруйнують все живе, що в нас є. Якщо не буде зміни, то немає.
So if you notice what he's talking about here, he's saying that the ATACMS are pointless, right? And that if they can't go after these airfields, they can't push these Russian bombers further away from the Ukrainian border, okay? Because like I said, I've done a whole video on this where there was there's a Russian air base that's close to the Volgograd region, which is not too far away from the Ukrainian border. It's probably roughly about 200 or so kilometers away from the Russian border. So the fighter bombers just take off from this air base, fly about 100 kilometers, which just takes a few minutes away, and they launch these guided aerial bombs, or these glide bombs as well, that I've been talking a lot about, which are very devastating, by the way. And these things will fly for tens of kilometers into Ukraine and then strike their targets. So the Russian fighter bombers don't even have to get too close to the border, and they stay safe from from Ukrainian Patriots. Any air defense that they have in that area cannot target these jets because they're so much further away from the front, or from the border of Ukraine, right? So that's why he's stating here that if these jets got pushed further back, they would have to resort to only using missiles that have much longer range. And these glide bombs, for example, that they're building in Russia, they're much easier and cheaper to produce. They've got thousands of these, and with their missiles, excuse me, they've only got so many, right? So obviously the missiles are more expensive to produce as well, and that would make it much more difficult for Russia, again, to target inside of Ukraine. So that's what he's talking about here, and I kind of see where he's getting with this, and I see the frustration behind this, but at the same time, I've been stating many times that Ukraine is fighting with one arm tied behind their back, considering that they're not allowed to strike deeper inside of Russian territory to even go after these airfields, that these fighter bombers are being used to target inside of Ukrainian territory. So I just thought that was very interesting video to share with you guys. I just wanted to show you that. I'm pretty sure that was an interview that was held here just the last few days. But yeah, lots of big developments coming out from this NATO summit too. So we'll probably hear more updates, and as they come out, I will try to share the information with you guys as much as I possibly can to let you know what's going on over here with this war between Ukraine and Russia. But we did hear just the other day, one last thing, is from Viktor Orban, the Hungarian prime minister. He just visited with Russia recently, right? And also Kiev in Ukraine to discuss this war on both sides. And after he got done visiting inside of Russia, he did an interview, and during this interview, he stated that this war between Russia and Ukraine was going to get much worse over the next couple months than what we've ever seen before. I forget his exact statement, but he said, I think something along the lines of this war was going to become more brutal than it ever has been before. And we're already starting to see that. If this attack happened the way it did from what we saw the other day, where Russia attacked this Okhmadit children's hospital with these missiles, well, that's already the start of it right there, okay? Now we've got children's hospitals in the middle of Kiev being struck, and it's the first time that I've seen missiles heavily strike Kiev, period, okay? So I do think this war could potentially get much more brutal than what we're seeing now, especially if the United States allows Ukraine to strike inside of Russian territory much deeper than they're able to already. I think that's where things get much crazier. So who knows? That could get announced here at the NATO summit. It maybe could, it maybe won't. I highly doubt it will right now. But we will probably have big developments. So again, as they come out, I'll share that with you along the way. But I want to thank you so much for being here today, guys. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, I hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.